Subscribe to the channel and like the video.
I would like to stop here and see if Milena Origi is connecting. Yes. Milena,
Good morning.
good morning.
Okay, so please, Roberta, let me know if everybody can hear me and probably yes, see me.
Yes, we can see you, and just a moment. Thank you, Milena. We can see you. We have no students in the class, but
Okay,
we have all the students connected online.
okay.
Thank you to be here, Milena, and to make your presentation to the class. As I told you, Milena is a vocal coach. I've been a vocal coach for at least 20 years. She has a great experience, a great international experience. She works with all the time zones during one day, and she has the passion of studying languages. In fact, for example, she knows very well Japanese, and she knows 4 languages because she links languages with voice. And in her travels, she always studies the different way of talking and the different languages. Today, Milena will make a presentation concerning interpersonal communication and how voice can help in improving the quality of the communication. Thank you, Milena. If you like to start, we
Perfect.
can start with your presentation.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Roberta, and thanks to all of you. Okay, so as I always say, give me an advice if somebody can't hear or can't see, but I hope that everybody can just enjoy this presentation and these 30 minutes of interpersonal communication with me, and especially with the value of the voice. So I have my timer here to be very precise, and now we are ready to start with the slides. Okay, so now you will see the slides and me in a very small part of the video. So today we will talk, as Roberta said, about the interpersonal communication. And especially I want to focus on what makes it effective and what undermines it. Why? Because it's very important that we know that talking with someone else and this kind of communication has got very important moment when we can define exactly if it will be a great job or not. And as you can see with me in this presentation, you will discover how much when this communication is good or not good can really define your decision in life. So we started talking about what is communication very quickly, okay? Every day we spend at least 12 hours involved in some sort of communication, 12 hours. And usually is 16% is reading, 9% is writing, 30% is speaking, so we are using our voice. We can't communicate without our voice. And the interpersonal communication is very important because we can receive the feedback from someone else very quickly. And so we can know if we are working in a good way or not. So speaking is very important in communication. And it's very funny to see that also, very interesting to see that listening is 45%. Everybody thinks that listening is just something very simple. It's not. Listening involves absolutely the voice. So 30 plus 45 is related to the sounds of our voice. And the communication is very, very based on this value. The written communication misses a key factor. And the key factor with me, you already know that, is an immediate feedback. So as I said before, when you have got an immediate feedback, you can know and you can grow. You really can grow in your interpersonal communication. Instead, talking to yourself. Every day of our life, 9 hours are devoted to some sort of communication. In this case, voice communication. As I said, more than 9 hours. Speaking and listening. Speaking and listening. So we are saying, using our voice actively, and then we are receiving the voice of someone else. So that's pivotal to learn and to train our voice to improve our interpersonal communication a lot. Every time there is a mutual influence between individuals, we do experience interpersonal communication. We need 2 or more people to get this kind of communication. And as many of you probably know, is the hardest one. Because we will discover how it's complicated. And if you don't know your first instrument, your voice, it will be very hard to recognize good signs or not. Where we learn the interpersonal communication skills, that's very important for me. We need to start to see where we can find the roots of our interpersonal communication. We start with the relationship with family. Yes, family is the first key. I can say, talking about a little bit about me, in my family we are used to talk with the good volume, okay? And that's for me very easy, because when I was a kid, using the volume was very important to let the people understand who I am and who I was, because it's very, very important that moment. And family is the first step for you. So many of my clients come to me and say, I have a low volume voice. People can't hear me. And this comes from exactly this situation, very often by the family. Relationship with friends and lovers. So friends is the beginning during the adolescence, when we start to see how our interpersonal communication work, and if it is good or not, if it is effective or not. And it's very fascinating for me when I work with adolescent people. They are very afraid, they are very shy, and this shyness causes anxiety. They are very afraid to talk. And this always becomes something that they bring when they start to have some lovers. So I really want that you focus on that. And shyness and this way to be anxious to talk is something that you can improve. Because it will be very fascinating to talk with your friends with joy, and choose the right friends for you. Relationship with classmates and colleagues, what you are experiencing now probably, and you will experience in the future with your boss or your colleagues. These are the three main situations where you start to learn your interpersonal communication. I discovered during my work so many years, because I am very fond of this particular topic, that all these kind of way that we use our interpersonal communication will affect physical and emotional health. More than 55% of my clients come to me because if they are not able to talk with the others or use correctly the voice to express what they feel, cause them back a sort of emotional disease. They feel very confused, dizzy sometimes, and immediately they have got a sort of headache or stomachache. So please focus that the way that you use your voice and you use your interpersonal communication is a very important key on how you can feel yourself emotionally and physically. People knows that I have spent more than 30 years of my life talking and say continuously that voice is connected, strictly connected with emotion. You can't divide them. That is the reason. What is the single most important factor affecting a communication? Have you got an idea? The way you deliver it. I want to focus a little bit on this, deliver. We need to think about very well. If we don't deliver the message clearly first, with the right pauses, second, with the good voice, third, and more, the message doesn't arrive. The people can't understand. And immediately we receive mixed messages. When there are mixed messages, it's very, very easy not to be understand perfectly. And that is what causes isolation, shyness, fear, anxiety. So the deliver is very, very important. And voice is very necessary, is essential. A low tone is expressing that you are afraid of saying something. A very sharp tone is too much, you are commanding. And if you don't deliver the message correctly, you can't get home and say, okay, I don't know if the person received my message or not. And start, just digging inside of yourself and say, how I did it. So please focus on that. The deliveries is essential, is pivotal, is very important, is necessary, is the key. So the delivery, and where can we learn the delivery? From the experience. There is no other way. If you don't practice, if you don't use it, if you don't, I don't want to say force, I don't like it, but if you don't enjoy yourself in practicing, you will never have an experience. Again, I have so many clients that come to me and say, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to say that to my family or to my friends, my best friends. You need to practice and not be afraid. I said that keep practicing is keep flowing, and it will become your second nature. As we age, our ability to learn slows down. So consider that, because age obviously will not help you. Why? Because now you can improve your interpersonal communication. you can let them become a little bit malleable, okay, flexible. But in the future, you will in some way find this new, fresh situation become very difficult. And now I can explain you why. Communication skills are a long-term procedural memory. What does it mean? It's something that we internalize constantly. And it's part of us. As I said before, our second nature. So when someone asks me, how can I present myself very well? You need to be natural. Are not the numbers of words or the poses or other things. You need to be natural. As much as you are natural, and you will be happy. And people will receive the message very clearly. And to explain better this long-term procedural memory, I love so much colors. So I choose this image because I think that is very funny. Why? Because, as I said before, we learn our interpersonal communication skills when we are kids. Like these kids that are riding bicycles. So I am trying to compare how you can ride your bicycle and how you can learn to improve your interpersonal communication skills. It's really the same, okay? And absolutely in a very large way is the same, but it's very, very similar, because probably many of you have started to ride a bicycle a long time ago, and someone is still doing, someone else not. But you discover that after 10 years, you are able to ride the bicycle again. That is exactly what happened to your interpersonal communication skills, especially your voice. If you use your voice well since the beginning, oh, it's impressive what you can do. A good start is half the battle. Does not require thinking. You don't think, okay, I need to ride my bicycle. No, it's natural. It's difficult to transfer to others the know-how. This is something that I really want to focus, because to transfer the know-how, and we can consider riding this bike, it's very hard. Try to explain to someone, okay, you can spin on the pedals and then you can start to ride your bicycle. It doesn't work. You can say thousands of words. The person must experience. Sometimes must fall down, because it's part of the game. And in that moment, you are starting your procedural memory, your second nature. Once learned, it's difficult to change reaction. As I said before, considering the age, okay? So you can imagine that you have learned to go on the right if you want to go on the right. But one day the bicycle changed and you need to turn on the left, but using the turning on the right. You can imagine the brain is confused, but not only the brain. Your second nature is involved, because your second nature wants to do the thing that I learn, So it's very, very difficult. And in my job, when I have people that wants to do that, it's hard, but it's not impossible, because I always try to find the key. And the key is through your voice, considering my method. That's why I have decided to focus so much on the different nuances that we have in our voice. Because it's not just a sound. It's something that comes from the deep inside. It's our identity. All of this is what defines success or failure. So don't require think, the know-how and the reaction, but especially the delivery after having a very great experience that requires a lot of practice. Are you taking your communication skills for granted? I always say don't take anything for granted. You can imagine that I have so many people that say to me on the social media or stuff, oh, everybody has got a voice. We have got a voice. Doesn't mean that you need to take this precious thing for granted. No. It's an instrument. If you don't use it, if you don't play it correctly, and with all the nuances that we can do, you're not using your communication skills deeply. And believe me, it's better than a game. It's better than a puzzle. I spent more than 30 years and I will never stop because there are so many different vibes in our voice and people react immediately. So don't take your communication skills for granted, especially because every kind of situation requires constantly a very adaptive way. You need to be able to be malleable, ductile, flexible, and now I explain you why. You can find yourself in a situation where you are in a unicycle, okay, obviously, ideally, and you're trying to balance yourself with your communication because you don't know exactly how to deliver your message. You probably are in fear to fall down, or you are in fear to, the idea that the person can have about you. So don't take for granted what you have, because this is just a very simple situation that you can find your emotional part. Obviously, this is an image, but we can consider this situation someone that starts to meet his or her own boss and doesn't know what to do. Oh, what can I say? Yes, no, whatever. And the communication starts to be a messy one. And so the other person is thinking that you are not someone that is believable. Another situation on the sand. You can ride your bicycle, so your interpersonal communication, and you can spin on the pedals, but you're stuck. So you need to find a different way. You need really to be flexible. You need to be, I don't want to say accommodating, but you need to find the spot where you can deliver your message, even in the sand, okay, and be able to go forward. Another one could be the eyes, okay? Many of my clients say to me, I feel sometimes myself, okay, on the eyes, lip on the eyes. I don't know what to say, but especially my voice dropped down at the end of the sentence. Why? And that could be very interesting in your job, in your presentation, especially for your exams, okay? And so don't take the voice and the communication skills for granted. Can happen this situation. You don't know exactly what to do and you feel yourself losing the, I don't want to say the control, but your self-confidence. Ooh, that causes a lot of anxiety sometimes on my client. And another one could be weird, but sometimes happen. You can find yourself using a sort of handbag, okay? So you need to use your hands. Another different way that you can compare, considering how much you need to be very, very, not only clever, but very reactive, very flexible, very elastic, and let your communication skills grow. That's why you need to practice. And then you will know, what about the situation in the eyes? What about the situation in the unicycle, hanging by a thread, and so on. So there is always more to learn. Learning is an adventure. You see, myself, I'm saying adventure. I love so much adventure, because if you do that, you will know a little piece of you every single day, and it will be amazing. Learning is adaptive. As I said before, all these different, situation requires an adaptive way. You need to try the solution. And learning is advantage. and you will discover in the future how much is important. Where to learn communication skills? Theory from written and recorded sources. So we can have language, we have the grammar, vocabulary, and so forth, okay? Then we have a very important part, the practice from mentors and interpersonal relationship. Many of my clients consider myself as a mentor, and I am. Why? Because people listening to my voice, they in some way find new way to say the things that they want to say. And they are learning from my experience through myself. I'm not explaining them the know-how, it's impossible. But I'm teaching them and let them feel what is moving, the different nuances in my voice, in my face, in my poses and stuff. I'm talking about the voice, obviously, but mentors can give you a little bit more. But every single time you can't absolutely forget that voice is the key of the mentors, all right? Voice volume, voice tone, voice rhythm. Voice is something so much important, and but it's not enough the volume, it's not enough the tone, it's not enough the rhythm. What is very important is to discover your own voice. That's why I call my method inborn voice. So the voice that was born with you, okay? And talking about the voice superficially, volume, tone, and rhythm is not enough. We need more. I have some clients in Switzerland, and they are studying a lot about the voice, especially ultrasounds. Okay, we don't talk with ultrasounds, but our voice is able to do that. And guess what? It's something like, there is an earthquakes and dogs receive that ultrasounds. So our voice can do millions of different nuances and different vibes. So I hope that you will be more curious about that and just check, because I really believe that voice has got thousands of different opportunities to improve your life. And a good mentor, the best mentor, can absolutely give you the opportunity to become the best. And you can decide on your life to be enough, good, okay, or better, but leaders spend 10 to 50% of their time mentoring future leaders. And as I said with the bicycle, with the slide of the bicycle, is a relationship that must be present when there are two people or more. And the mentor is helping you with his or her own experience and through his or her own vibes. Interpersonal communication. So now we have a summary, a sum up, okay? We can see exactly what makes it effective and what undermines it, okay? Self-confidence from experience. Never forget experience. You need to practice. Engage in delivering the message. So you need to be part of your message. If you send a message with the voice that is very shy, the message will not be clear. Or if it is a voice that is too much, it is not. Or if it is a voice that dropped down, my name is, okay? I can stay hours and hours, okay? I have so many examples for you. But just these 3 examples can give you the idea that you need to be engaged. You need to be present on what you are saying. Many people are not present. They just speak. They just say words. In US, people start to say blah, 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 blah. They substitute with blah, blah, blah the things that they are used to say with the same monotone sounds, right? Monotone sound. So be engaged, okay? The other side is lack of self-confidence. So you don't know yourself very well. You don't know your interpersonal communication skills because you didn't have a lot of experience. You have a lack, okay? So don't think that you're not good enough. Think that you haven't practiced enough. Engage in controlling the delivery. This is something very impressive. You think, how can I deliver? What about the poses? What about the volume? What about the words? What about the person? No, if you start controlling the delivery too much, I don't like the word control. It's never a control, it's a discipline. It's a second nature. Because if you are controlling, your brain is someone else. And your voice is absolutely not engaged. What makes it effective, we have the ability to listen. As I said at the beginning, listening is very important because you can learn from people that speak very well just listening. It's something magic for me. Ability to tune. It's not just a tune, a music way to think the tune. No, it's deeper. Tune means be and fits well in the situation and be aware that the other person is listening to you, that is not angry or too much anxious or nervous or is in a hurry. So you need to be in tune. If you're talking with someone that is very in a hurry, you need to be very quick, but probably the message is very hard to deliver. Elasticity is malleable, tactile. You need to be very flexible because every person can teach you something. Every person. And like the 4 different images that I just showed you before, you need to consider that every day you can find yourself on the ice, on the sand, on a unicycle, whatever it is, okay, hanging by a thread. So elasticity. Social decentering is something very used here in US, okay? And what it is exactly? Someone that is able to feel himself or herself at ease in a group, fits the group well. So someone that is able to melt correctly the emotion, the situation, and not too much involved in himself or herself. So is someone very, very, I'm gonna say, he's enjoying himself in the group. He's not afraid. And he's not an ego person, someone that is decentering. Ability to wait the right moment. Seems easy. It is not. And voice, I can, reveal to you, is the best key that you can have. The sound change, and you discover immediately that is the right moment to send the message and deliver the message. Empathizing, you know that already, okay? Emotions are the key, never forget that. Overthinking undermines your delivery, for sure. You are thinking too much, you're thinking too much. I have clients that starts to be not only anxious, but confused, dizzy. They say, I don't remember the words. Okay, so don't overthink. Overreacting, too much emotion involved. No, the other one will receive a message that is wrong. Information overload. You are too much verbose, you are too much talkative, and people say, yes, yes. It happens to you for sure, yes. But it's not yes, they are not receiving anything. Imposing yourself. Oh no, this is, I think, very terrible communication, okay? You risk to be isolated by the others. Inability to wait the right moment, okay? The opposite, okay, of the effective, and this is the undermines. And listener apprehension. This is something very used again here in the US. people that think too much of what the other that are listening, what is saying, they are thinking, what they are thinking, what can I say? So they start to think what the other can think. It's something that absolutely, I guarantee, can really screw your delivery, and it will not work. Absolutely. Voice takes, nearly at the end of this speech, 75, I repeat, 75, and I repeat again, 75 of interpersonal.
Sorry, Milena, we have to close in a minute.
Okay, yes, so I will go very fast. It's the last one, okay? In a minute I have, okay, is interpersonal communication. So I go a little bit faster, okay? It's not what you say, it's how you say. And you can read the last one. Communication skills are not gauged in moments of comfort, but in moments of challenge and controversy. So we don't have any time, and I'm sorry because my timer was 32, all right? Anyway, no problem. Here is the book, and you can see and learn more about me, the method, and especially what I explained to you that is totally new and an innovation in the world of the interpersonal communication and the voice. So, Roberta, thank you so much, and thank to all of you, and sorry for 2 minutes probably late, and I hope that everything is very clear.
Thank you very much, Milena. Thank you for your interesting speech. You gave us many insights in the voice world and for its importance for interpersonal communication. I would like to tell to our students that they can contact you if they have questions or want to discuss any point with you. I greet all of you that are connected. I thank you for your presence, and we will see next week. Thank you, Milena, for being with us today.
Thank you. Enjoy your day and your evening. Thank you, Roberta.
Thank you to you.
To all of you.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Subscribe to the channel and like the video.